I can't give you 1,200 unless I go put myself in debt. And I feel like when you borrow your debt from yourself, that's what create anxiety, stress, which allow diseases to be more prone in your body. So I feel like you only can love somebody much you love yourself. And once I start putting myself first, getting into the word and all this, I learned how to put my kids first, and that's when my life elevated. And I feel like my parents, I don't have nothing against them because they didn't know. They was trying. I remember my mom, right, like some months before she passed, she was trying everything to find that. She was going to church and everything, but she didn't know the only thing you had to do is put yourself first.
I have a different mentality though.
Okay, share with me yours.
I don't ever put my kids first, right? And it's different. I've been with my wife since I was 18. So we've been with each other since we was kids.
And how old were you when you got married?
Yeah, I was 26 when I got married.
Okay, so you started 18 and got married.
8 years together.
So y'all had a beautiful opportunity to just be friends for a while.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I learned through that process that if I try to put myself first as the father, right? Let's be honest, all of us as men will sit here and be like, I'm the man, I'm the leader of the household, right? How could I be the leader and put myself first? That's not what leaders do. Like in my family, my grandfather, Army guy, didn't say much. But one thing I knew, he was putting everybody before himself. Like my grandmother came first, the kids came, and then my grandfather took care of himself. My father did the same thing. And what I learned in life is the more I focused on my partner, the mother of my children, and I made sure she was good, she was able to reciprocate that. And then when my kids saw it, they were able to see like, oh, that's what a living, loving relationship looks like. They were now involved in our relationship the same way. We speak honestly and open in real time. Any issues my kids have, they have the confidence to come to me because they've seen that their mom can come to me and I'm not gonna be like, so it's a safe space.
Wow.
So for me,
Okay, stop
as
it.
a father,
So what's your take on that? They have two different perspectives on leadership, two different perspectives on how to be men of the house, both in a role of a father and a role of quote unquote a husband or whatever your title is.
Well, I think one is speaking as a single father and one is speaking as a husband, which is why they kind of came to that, where they have those differential takes there or perspectives.
Well, I want to get some. I want to push this out here first before we dive in there. I don't agree with the whole like single mother, single father thing. Like, I don't like when people carry those titles when the other partner is solely involved, is really involved in the child's life. You're not a single mother or you're not a single father. You just don't have a partner. Single mother, single father carries the term of I'm doing this alone or I'm doing this by myself. I'm single in this.
Yeah.
No, like you're not single. Like that child has a daddy or that child has a mother like that are involved in this child's life. You're not doing this alone. You're just alone. And so I just want to push that out there that people stop carrying those titles. Like just because you're not married or just because you don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend don't mean that you're a single parent. So single parent means the other party is not involved in this child's life. Then you are a single parent or that your mate or whatever has transitioned on or whatever. Then yes, you are a single parent. But you know, you can dive back deep into that.
Okay, well, their perspectives is one from a single person and then one from a married person. And
Keep going, John.
and so with both of us, with both of those perspectives, you see the difference in their outlook. You see with the singleness is me first, then whatever else. And when you become a husband, you're a leader, and when you're a leader, as DeVale said, everyone else is first, and you make sure everyone else is good. Then you become, then you take care of you. But first, you always make sure everyone else is good. Everyone that's in your camp, everyone that's under your covering, you make sure they're good first. Then, once I know they're good, then I can take care of me. And so, when you have the single mindset, it's me first, then whatever else is after that. And I know that Country Wayne, he was well-meaning, but like I said, it shows from a husband mindset compared to someone that's not married. You think of, just like I said, as a husband and as a father, everyone that's on my covering, I make sure they good first. That's how, that's just my mindset. If I have to sacrifice or go without something just to make sure mine is good, that's what I'll do. But that's how kind of my initial thoughts about it.
I think that to tag on to what you were saying, I think that it kind of get misconstrued of what a man is versus what a husband is. Although a man operates in a husband role, they have two different definitions of what each individual is, right? So don't get it misconstrued. Just because you're a man don't mean that you'll be a good husband or that you'll be a good father.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a good guy and just suck in relationships because you are maybe selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. Like, things can kind of become toxic when both parties are selfish. So when the man and the woman is selfish, as well as the child. We don't put enough emphasis on family.
Facts.
When you say family, we look out for each other. Yeah, as a man, I need to lead by example by doing that first. I need to look out for everyone that's under my roof, everyone that's under my leadership. But as a family, no, my family better look out for me too.
Yeah.
If I get sick, they better take care of me. No cap. If I'm sick, then y'all better be bringing that tea, whatever.
The Victral, that Tussin.
All that. I need my back rub. I need the Vicks on my chest. All that.
Let me ask you this, man. So we're well aware of Country Wayne's situation. As far as you got 10 kids, and multiple, baby mothers. Would you consider him operating out of selfishness?
Yeah. And it's worked for him, like he said, financially. It works for him. But when you look at having a nuclear family, and what people don't understand is like, yeah, you can have all your baby mamas and kids, and they all can coexist, and everybody, for the most part, can get along. That's cool. But for as the nuclear family and the structure of it is for kids to be raised under the same roof with both parents and seeing them operate together and being able to work together through obstacles and trials is what builds character in that child. So when they grow up, if it's a young boy, he knows how to operate as a man. Vice versa, he knows how to treat a lady because I watched my dad do it day in, day out. On the other side, he knows how he's supposed to be treated because I watched my mama do it day in, day out. This is one of the most controversial things that doesn't get talked about a lot is young ladies are always taught what to receive from a man and how to be treated by a man.
Mm-hmm.
But our young boys aren't taught how to be treated by a woman.
Say that again.
Our young ladies, they hear it from everywhere. What they should be looking for in a man, what a man should be doing for them, how he should be treating them, this and that and all the other. But our young boys grow up, they don't get that same talking. They don't get that same training of what they should be receiving from a young lady, how they should be treated by a young lady. And so now our young men grow up with the mindset that if I got money, I can just buy her.
That's a big factor.
And so now our women go off to the highest bidder. Who got the most money? She go over there, she spend some time with him, and then when another high bidder come up, she leave him, go over there, spend some time with him, and it just become a recurring cycle. And there's no stability in these relationships. Hence why children now have no self-worth or identity.
Let me ask you this. You see it more and more becoming more talking points now on the internet and social media about polygamy and how it is natural and biblical to be polygamous, at least men to be. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's natural to the flesh. But what's always good for your flesh ain't always good for you. It's a lot of things that feels natural and good to the flesh. Eating bad, it feels good to the flesh. Don't mean I should be out here doing it.
Feelings are facts nowadays, man.
Don't mean I should be doing it. And I've always had the mindset of this. And I had this mindset early. And this is probably the reason why I didn't have a ton of girlfriends growing up or things like that. I didn't have a ton of girlfriends. I had, a few I can probably count maybe on one hand of how many actual girlfriends I actually had. And it's because of this reason. I didn't really indulge in the whole cheating or like being a player growing up. Now I tried it, but when I tried it, I was like, what's the point of this? It's extra stress, whatever. Like, I might as well just be single and just basically do whatever I want to do. And so that's been my whole mindset. Like, man, if I want to mess around, I don't need to get married or I don't need to be in a committed relationship. I can be single and just mess around.
Facts.
It sounds like you guys just want to sleep around, but you also want stability when you come home after when you get done sleeping around. That's basically what you want. I want to go out. I want to be able to, if I see somebody I want to be able to sleep with them, then I can come back home to you. Instead of just saying, you know what, I want to move like that, I'm just going to be single. Because believe it or not, or whether people want to admit it or not, you cannot have sexual relations with people that you say you care about and you have no feelings when they cheat or when they sleep with other people. If you with somebody that you say you care about or that you say you love and they are out moving, shaking and moving, doing whatever they're doing out here with this person, that person, you're going to feel some type of way about that.
That's a fact.
And a lot of people like to move like that because they don't like the responsibility. They don't like the responsibility of that comes with having to care for a family. And so, it does become a burden sometimes to care for a family. It does become hectic sometimes trying to figure things out. But that's the beauty of a partnership. That's the beauty of a marriage. The marriage is, man, we go through our ebbs and flows. We go through our heartaches. But, man, we chose to go through this together.
Yeah.
But talk more on that, man. I got somebody waiting on me downstairs. Let me go get him this.
All right. So in regards to polygamy, I do think it's just a way to justify them wanting more than one partner or more than one sexual partner, just to justify cheating, basically. In regards to what Dan said, just because it feels good doesn't mean it's good for you, and that's a big issue in our society today. It's like I said, it's feelings has become facts, and because it has become facts, that's how they move, that's how they operate, that's their mindset. And then when you do come to them with facts, now it's hating, you're you all these different things, you're judgmental. That's a big thing nowadays, being judgmental just because you don't agree with their choices or their mindset. And that's been a big backlash of not agreeing with their foolishness. We have to get back to the point of facts over feelings, or where they consider feelings facts. But that's all I got on it. You want to get back into it? We can.
Yeah, we can dive back into it. I just want to say this one part here. The reason why I think it's so hard, man, is because when we get into relationships, we think it's our partner's responsibility to make us happy or to make us feel a certain type of way. You're in charge of your own happiness. So if you struggle with that before you get into a relationship, you're going to continue to struggle with that. It's not my wife's responsibility to make me happy. Mm-hmm. Now, being with her makes me happy, but it's not her responsibility to walk around with ready to put on the whole show to make me happy. Mm-hmm. That's not her responsibility. And I think that's a whole thing. Like, we get bored. I'm tired of this person. I'm just not happy no more.
And it just, like I said, it just spoke to what I just said just a moment ago. I said we live in a society now where people base their facts off of feelings.
For sure.
And this became their perspective. So whatever they feel, they think that's fact. And that's so dangerous. And it speaks to the way society is today.
It's like, you know what, I want to create a space where everybody knows that they safe.
But you know where that comes from? I'm just hearing both sides, right? Even all of our stories are different.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? We're all raising kids on a different level. Wayne is doing it the right way when it comes to people with multiple partners, correct? There is a blueprint for love.
What you mean by that? A blueprint for love? A
blueprint for love, when it's saying, first of all, you got to find Jesus. Jesus is love.
I like where you're going with
You see what I'm saying?
And I would think it's crazy.
Because everybody's doing what they're supposed to do because they're leading off with love. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I agree with you on that.
We got 3 different households. Stay with me. I'm finna make 3 different points.
Walk it out, Doc. Walk it out, Doc.
We got many people with different baby mamas and different baby fathers.
Okay.
There's a way to find love within all those units where y'all can prosper together.
Let me tell you what is amazing, man. What is amazing? Because how old are you?
I'm 33.
See, now what is amazing is that, now I'm the OG at tables now, which is wild to me. But now I'm the only guy at the table who didn't have his father. So I did not have a father. Didn't have a father, didn't have a mother. And so I was adopted. And then even the lady that adopted me really didn't want me. And so all I knew was the rejection of not being accepted.
Understandable.
So when I hear you guys talk with the level of confidence and even fluidity, like y'all have a level of confidence to even see life different, to see relationships different, and there's no space for me to judge you. It's just space for me to be able to go, man, I wish I would have had the same type of beginning, because I do believe that the reason why y'all are so confident to think differently is because you had a man somewhere in your life.
My dad.
Yeah. And you can't deny that.
That's real.
I tell everybody, bro, like growing up, people have action figures or sports.
Stop it right
figures
there,
or
John. We gotta touch that.
I ain't want to be like Mike. I want to be like my dad.
We gotta touch that. This is the importance of having a male figure, father figure, who is constant in your life. Kirk just gave you the issues that come with not having that. My son is so bold in the way that he can move because of security that he has, that he probably not unaware of. He just feels it in the way that he moves. So my son isn't afraid to sing in front of nobody, dance in front of nobody, all these things. The way he carried himself at school, all these things here, where a lot of us grew up, we were insecure to do a lot of things in front of people, to sing in front of people. Like for the longest, boy, I was shy to do anything. If anybody knew me growing up, it was like pulling teeth to get me to do anything in front of anybody, to sing, to do whatever. And John as well, just to have the insecurities of to have the boldness. And I was talking to my wife the other day, and she said something like, "Did you ever dream about like where you would stay or what you would do, or like where you would go as an adult?" And I told her, I said, no,
Wasn't even a thought.
never even thought to even dream that big. I said, I never even thought to dream that big. I would even say I never even had the audacity to dream outside of where I was. To be honest with you guys, I was probably okay with staying in the hood because it was all I knew. It was comfortable to me. Like we would be in amazement. Like when we would go to like nice neighborhoods, we'd be like, man, wow. Like we just couldn't even fathom, not let alone us having this, but somebody else has it.
That it exists.
And so to have the boldness to even think outside of your situation, or to even carry yourself in a certain manner, comes from a structure of a father, and not just a father, but a father who understands what he needs to give you. So my father was there early on, but he didn't have his father. So he didn't completely understand exactly what to give us as young men so that we can take the next step. It's some things that we had to learn on our own. On how to be a father, and watching other people and things of that nature, and just also learning from your upbringing too. Like, okay, like growing up, like most black kids, we couldn't express ourselves. Like I couldn't tell my parents I didn't like something, right? That's gonna cause a whole bunch of mess. Which might cause me getting hit to the face or whatever, whatever it might cause, right? So like self-expression and self-expression, even if it wasn't disrespectful, just expression. Like I don't like this, or I don't want to do that. Like I didn't have that. You know, we didn't have that type of um leisure of expression, which growing up hinder our ability to be more confident. Like we should have been more confident, especially going into our teenage years. We should have been really confident.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is when you don't have that, you end up missing out on opportunities because of your lack of confidence
Mm-hmm.
and your insecurities. So you don't feel like you're good enough because maybe mom and daddy never told you enough. Or what I learned is it's not necessarily always just telling them, but also the way that you allow them to be. So if my kids are doing something, I make sure that I don't and nobody else is speaking negativity into
Yeah.
my child. So if my child is singing, nobody's telling my child like, ugh, you sound terrible, or all those things like plays with a child psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing that so much, guess what that child gonna stop doing? He gonna stop singing in front of people.
It's a fact.
They gonna stop talking in front of people because that you grew that insecurity and you start watering that insecurity. And so, a lot of that comes from father, and a lot of that, comes from both parents, but a lot of that comes from father, and that's part of having a structural foundation in your household of how y'all operate. Growing up, we didn't have an option of what we wanted to eat. We just ate what was there, right? But when the child grows up, there's no leadership there, and so you go to even dating in your teenage years. Instead of you just picking a restaurant and telling her I'm taking you out on a date, you asking her where she want to go. Like, where you want to go? She like, I don't know. But as a man, you're the one that's paying for it, so you the one should be choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you coming with me, like,
Yeah. Facts.
like,
Facts.
but that's the confidence that most young men don't have,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hey, I'm going to this Mexican restaurant. This is where we're going.
Going.
I'm driving. I'm paying. So if you
You
come with
coming or
me,
not?
that's where we're going. I'm taking you out there. That's the confidence
Mm-hmm.
of to have. But a lot of us didn't grow up with that type of confidence, had insecurities. Because if she say, I don't want to go there, we say, well, what do you want? Now here come the pandering.
Mm-mm.
Which is a female quality. Because you got to realize one thing. What you don't receive from your father, you will cleave to your mother. And you will get nurtured too much.
I do believe that speaks to nuclear families, right?
Mm-hmm. You would get nurtured too much because that's what mama knows. So she'll pander to the child. I don't want to do that. Well, child, what you want to do? Your dad is like, hey, man, sit your tail down. This boy, you ain't going to do nothing at all. Like the decisiveness of a man. A lot of us have that absentee. This is why a lot of us struggle in relationships or struggle with women. Because one thing that happens is you grow up and you end up pandering to women, and they end up not wanting you because they're looking for a strong, secure leader. They're not looking for someone for someone they can lead. But these things you don't have a full understanding of until you grow up. Like, you know, one this is funny. I hear women all the time tell men this, and this is like, this is crazy. You know, they would tell a man everything they should be doing in order to be a good man. Now, mind you, most of those people that's saying that are single. Then two, women would preach all this crap to a man about being a good man, and you wouldn't want your son to do none of that crap.
Talk about it.
You should do this, you should do that, about a man pandering to a woman, do this and that and this and that. And then you get used up by this young lady. And if a lady had a daughter, had a son, and a young lady come over, and she seemed to only be interested in what he can do for her, the mama gonna have a problem with that. And it didn't really change. Like my wife was, always, like, yeah, I agree, but it didn't come strong until she had boys. And she was like, "Nah, I know how these women are. Like, I got sons now. Women will use you."
Mm-hmm.
And so you have two different type of users. You have men that will use women for sex. You got women that will use men for money and security. And so, but we have this issue, and I'm speaking to the Black community, that if your son don't have a male role model, man, get him a male role model. If it ain't nothing but for stability and structure in his life. Someone who can teach him how to be a leader. Most men, reason why marriages fail, because we just don't know how to lead. Real reason why most men second guess themselves a lot is because you're still working on leadership.
That's a fact.
You stressed out about a situation, just make a decision, bro. You ain't gonna get all your decisions right or wrong either way. Whether you stress out about it or whether you don't. Once you do your research, once you prayed about it, once you do all that, make a decision, man.
You ain't gonna bat 1,000.
And it's very important for your child to see that. When you miss on a decision, they need to see how you handle that.
Yeah.
Our young boys now can't handle nothing.
Boy, it's a meltdown.
They can't handle nothing, boy.
Crash out.
Can't handle nothing.
Who didn't have his father. So I did not have a father. Didn't have a father, didn't have a mother. And so I was adopted. And then even the lady that adopted me really didn't want me. And so all I knew was the rejection of not being accepted.
Understandable.
So when I hear you guys talk with the level of confidence and even fluidity, like y'all have a level of confidence to even see life different. To see relationships different, and there's no space for me to judge you. It's just space for me to be able to go, man, I wish I would have had the same type of beginning, because I do believe that the reason why y'all are so confident to think differently is because you had a man somewhere
Facts.
in your
My
life.
dad.
Yeah,
My dad.
Yeah. And you can't deny that.
That's real.
I tell everybody, bro, like growing up, people have action figures or sport figures or heroes. I ain't want to be like Mike. I want to be like my dad.
Me too. Me too.
seen
That
it.
is a
I
fact.
seen
That's
it.
crazy.
Your dad was around?
Yeah, my dad was
Your
around.
mom and dad married?
Yeah.
You know what's beautiful about, because, you know, me and you talk off camera.
He doing
Yeah.
the same thing.
And me and him cool, for real. And I realize what it is. If somebody come from that type of background, I feel like you a vessel to how a relationship should go. But see, I'm coming from the streets, so it's different. You know what I'm saying? My mom and dad ain't home.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, coming out
Yeah.
the streets, it's a little.
And bro, let me tell you, I
Yeah.
don't think what you're doing is wrong.
Oh, no,
You know
that's what I'm saying. We both.
Yeah, we both agree.
Like, if somebody,
Yeah.
it's a video that went viral when the guy was saying, like, only way you cure a disease is a disease.
Yes,
The guy
I
on
seen
there
that.
was like,
Yeah.
so basically, like, and I think that's why my fan base is I got the church in the hood, because I understand both sides. But I'm like, man, when you come from them streets, it's nobody never understand what that poverty in the
Facts.
streets.
I'm gonna tell you why
That goes back to what I was trying to say earlier.
love,
was
leader.
The love.
The love, yeah.
Our stories are different.
Yes.
But the love is still there.
How you show like, cause I feel like how you show up with love when
Because-
there's also like, it can be some things that knock that love
Poverty.
off, or like
life.
it can it can throw your psyche off a little bit, right?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Love.
Like,
How you
okay,
show up for love
I
for
learned how to show up with love for my daughter's mother through obstacles that we went through the courtroom.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It was rocky.
Right.
Very rocky. But we go through that, and 3 years later, you know, my daughter's 8 now. So it took us 3 years to get to a point where we could show up with love
Right.
and putting the pride to the side. I think be helping that love. a
Because
little
you
more.
know what it is, like, we don't know each other for real. We jumped into a serious situation that's gonna have us
Yeah, yeah,
together
yeah,
for
yeah.
the rest of our life.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know you after 3-4 months.
And
I have to learn
Stop
you.
right there, John. I gotta touch on that. I think it's a little bit different. Yes, I agree with DC about you don't know each other for real. But I agree with what's his name that brought up the statement. I don't want to mess his name up. It might mute it.
I believe his name is DeVale.
No, not DeVale. The other one, no one that was talking about.
Oh,
it.
Lou Young.
Lou Young, right. So I agree with Lou Young that the only way, like, if you guys are not going to be together, the child has to be the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said we didn't make it, or it didn't become functional until we put our pride to the side. Because what happens is when you go through breakups or you go through divorces and you go through all these messy things that happens, you guys are so busy trying to hurt each other or trying to get at each other. And now the child is on the ride for this
Suffering.
toxic ride. And the child is put on the back burner. And both of you forget that, man, we raising the kid. Like, yeah, I don't like you or I'm mad, but like we raising the child. And the child is getting the wrong end of the deal because they're watching us trying to get at each other, in different ways and different facets, And so I think the reason why like divorce couples have a rough time, or single couples that split and they have a child have a rough time, is because they don't put the child first. When you guys split, the relationship is no longer first. The child immediately needs to become about the child.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are so bitter towards each other that nothing else matters right now but me showing you how much I don't like you, or me trying to get back at you in some type of way.
A waste of time.
Like I never understood. Like if you have both willing families, I never understood why 50-50 isn't an automatic thing. I understand from the government mindset but I don't understand like why 50-50 isn't an automatic thing where the child is split custody 50% here, 50% there. There is no child support. When he's 50% with mom take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
When he's 50% with dad, dad takes care of him.
Facts.
If the other parent don't have the means to take care of him, then it needs to go to the other parent. Then now you can start talking about child support
Mm-hmm.
in the forms of you helping me in some kind of way.
Since you can't afford them. Yep.
More on a more time basis. Like I can't afford for them to be here a month or 2 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that's how it should be handled. But if both parents are capable of taking care of him, it should be automatic 50-50.
I agree to that.
It should be just automatic, unless you just got a parent that's just unable to do so.
No, I mean you have it in court now where the judges are asking the mothers, "What do you want?" It's so one sided, and you're in a place of authority, and you're asking the one that's coming to plead their case, "What do you want?"
But
That's how twisted it is.
But this is how it backfires, though. And at the end of the day, the child is the one that ends up getting hurt.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. So beyond everything I'm finna say, the child is the one that ends up suffering from this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is how it backfires. You go and you put the man through all this, and he gives you exactly what you want, nothing more, nothing less. And now you're mad because, oh, well, why are you not doing this?
This is what you wanted.
This is what you wanted. You wanted to be primary custody.
So you got primary other expenses.
And so that's my thing. If you're primary, you carry primary load. That's my thing.
That's a fact.
If not, we could have did 50-50. And we can both shoulder this load.
Yep.
But they don't want 50-50 because they're getting no child support.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to have to work or work as hard. I still want you to take care of me.
So I think that's, should be, and not saying like there's some bad guys out there that aren't going to step up to the plate.
Absolutely.
Or, things of that nature. And there's some bad women out there who don't step up to the plate or who try to, use a child as a pawn. So it goes both ways, but
right.
The whole message of this is if we can stop and think about the children, things can go a lot better for the kids. Divorce hurts kids, man.
They're the biggest losers in it.
Not just in the sense of like, divorce, but for the child coming to the realization that my mom and dad ain't gonna be together no more. That hurts a child.
It's traumatic.
Even if they don't say nothing, that puts a hurting on that child. And while y'all trying to get at each other, that child is wounded.
Facts.
That child is hurting.
Like for me, I had to get to know her because she said she sent me the picture that she was pregnant.
That's what now I gotta know you.
Now I do my we getting ready for a Super Bowl.
Right.
But are we answering your question?
From a pregame to a Super Bowl.
I'm on a high.
Right.
But Luke, are we answering your question? Like you asked the question.
You
answered it.
I want to answer that thing.
Okay, go ahead.
And this is a big part that men don't want to talk about. We all got to use better discernment before we lay down with these women.
Wait a minute.
Bingo.
Hold on. Let's let that marinate. Come on.
That's it right there.
Marinate.
This side for a reason.
Let that cool in your spirit.
When I look at his relationship, I'm like, man, I really follow you. I'm like, man, that's beautiful.
Me too.
No, it is beautiful.
And coming from certain places, we really wish I wish I would have grew up.
Yeah.
In a certain.
And your daddy taught you that, though, right?
Let's stop at that, John.
No.
Who taught you that?
So I got a brother.
Let's stop at that,
He's
John.
younger than me, right?
So we'll end it on this. That was a big thing, and me and both John will talk on this. The responsibility that happens when you lay down with somebody, and you guys make a baby, and there was no prior commitment to each other in the midst of what you was doing. It was basically a one-night stand, or basically y'all just messing around. And so that's what they're meaning. Like you're messing around with somebody that you don't know. Like you don't know this person. You don't know if they crazy. You don't know nothing about this person. Y'all just messing around. They seem pretty cool. And then next thing you know, boom, somebody, she pregnant. Boom. Now it's like, oh shoot. And now what people make the mistake is, this is what people make the mistake. You get into a relationship or you marry the individual.
Trying to make it right.
Call yourself basically doing the right thing. But no, you're doing the wrong thing. Because now you're getting into a committed thing with a person that you don't know. You're already having a baby with a person you don't know. Don't make another wrong by getting into a relationship with a person you don't know. And make the situation even more toxic. If a baby is on the way, date that person. Like, hey, let's see if we can know each other. To see if there's something that we, that'll be beneficial for us. I would like to, be with you or marry you. Not only, but don't do it just for the sake of I have a child coming.
Right.
What's your take on that? On what they were saying?
Yeah, man. And that's really is I won't even say an epidemic. I say a pandemic.
God,
This is a Just think about it. Look around. Look how many babies are born out of wedlock, or even just shortly after his divorce. It's so many children out here that's born in these similar situations. These oops babies. And you come to find out that, well, we were just fooling around. And, next thing you know, she ended up pregnant.
What happens is, I want to interject, I'm going to let you keep going. I hated this so much growing up. But me being busy kept me out of a lot of trouble.
It did.
We see teenagers now having kids, 13, 14, sometimes younger than that, having kids. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking, and I started immediately thinking back to when I was 13, 14, and I was always constantly in something. If I wasn't playing sports, I was definitely in church. And so I always was busy. I didn't have a lot of downtime where like I'm not doing that. Like kids nowadays, a lot of them, they don't play no sports. They're not going to church. They're just at home. So if mama and daddy going to work, just at home. You just hanging out. So for the summertime, a lot of them just hanging out. You get in trouble.
Too idle.
Like too much free time, man, is bad for a child, especially as they get older. When they start getting to their teenage years and the hormones start raging, you better keep them jokers active. Active.
That's a fact.
And
That's
to give y'all a understanding on how to do this, if they're not in your presence, they need to be active somewhere. So if it's summertime and I have to work and they at home by themselves, they would not be at home by themselves.
Yeah, a camp or something.
You would be at a camp, Christian camp, somewhere. Active at a STEM camp, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball camp, somewhere. But me and John was at home all the time. We could have did God knows what. Thank God we just wanted to have fun. Like just go out and just, we just more so just wanted to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we could have ran girls up and through the house. Like, because the parents were just gone. They would leave early in the morning, come back late in the evening. Like, we're just blessed that we didn't do nothing stupid. Like get somebody pregnant. We were just blessed because we had time.
Too much time.
We were just blessed. But a lot of kids aren't as fortunate. They make that mistake of having a kid as a kid because you just have a lot of time. Like, you just have time, man. Like, kids get out of school, they come home, ain't nobody home.
Mm-mm.
You bring the little girl from school to your house. Ain't nobody at my house. Or ain't nobody at her house.
Mm-hmm.
You get into sports, man. After school, man, I was hooping. I was playing ball. If I wasn't, I had to go to church. That kept me in my teen years. Man, talk more on that, man. On that, man.
But yeah, man. Just going back to what I was saying, man. Like I said, I think it's a pandemic, man. And this is even inside of the church.
Oh, it'd be worse.
It's so I'm just saying it's inside the church, outside the church, it's the same result. It's it's crazy how many single people it is that has children and is the church, inside the church as well. But it's so crazy how it's, like I said, they have so many that has children and not married or divorced. It's the days of married before you carry is, it seems like it's a thing of the past now. Everybody wants to, what they say now, they want to test drive the car before buying it. And then you still end up associated with that car if you ain't careful.
We got all these born again Christians.
I don't even get into that.
They gonna go out and do whatever, and then run to the church and get sanctified.
Nah, that ain't how that work. That ain't how that work, man. So it's crazy, man. And like I said, the ultimate losers in this is the children, man. Thank God that we was blessed, man, because we had too much time on our hands.
When you go back and think about it, man, we did.
We had too much, and we thought we was busy enough because we was in church, but it was times, man, where we was
like, especially summertime.
Anything could have happened, man. Anything could have happened. But eventually, we did get busy. I know for myself, it was school, work, football, and church, and that was pretty much it. We even see, some of our family members, man, that just had time and they got into things, and
for sure, man, you just get into stuff,
and you start to see the consequences of those things, man, because you're having too much time on your hands, nothing productive. You're not doing anything productive.
Nothing to occupy your mind or to tire your mind.
Right. And so, man, I do suggest, man, it's very imperative, man, to get your kids, keep your kids busy, keep them something productive, not just sitting at home on a tablet or in front of the TV on YouTube, just idle.
Let me interject this. Even if they don't like it, even if they don't like sports, they don't have to grow up to be a professional sports player.
Because let me say this. So my son is running track now. And this is one thing that I do see with other races that's out there. They have their children out there. Clearly, you can see their child is not an athlete by no means. They're coming in last place in every race. But they have them out there. One, keeping them active. Two, you teaching them not to quit something just because it doesn't serve you. They come in dead last, but you every week at the track meets, you see them there, you see them racing.
Or you teaching them not to quit something that you gave your word to.
You gave your word to. No, we're gonna see this through to the end. And that's how we have to start operating, man. Especially with our children. Let's teach them commitment and not run at the first sign of adversity. Because that's very big in our community now. When we see adversity, we ready to run. i.e., I'm not happy.
That's everything, man. Like, we have a generation, man. We have a very feminine generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a very feminine generation, man. So much so they come up with a word called toxic masculinity.
And all it is masculinity.
And all it is, you just being a guy. And I seen this clip, man. We get ready to end it. I seen this clip. It was the Joe Budden podcast. And I meant to tell Jonathan so we can pull this clip up. It was a real small clip. I should have sent it to him. But it's a guy on the show. I'm not sure of his name, but he was talking to Melissa Ford. Mm-hmm. She's on the show. And she was basically saying, I feel some type of way about what you said to me or how you talk to me or how you joke with me. And he asked her, do you think that I joke with you more harshly or more than I joke with this individual, with this guy here? She said no. So he said, you have a problem with being treated equal. You want me to treat you special.
But that's what they fought for, right?
And so that's what we have a lot in this world. Like people don't want to be treated equal. Everybody wants to be treated special. Like growing up, like this term that's thrown around now, everyone is a king and a queen. Hey king, hey queen. Like we want to be treated so special, and nobody you ain't earned nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm a queen. You ain't my queen. I mean, you're not getting that from me because you ain't my queen. You know what I mean? So I had to tell one young lady that, and she was just kind of taken back. She was like, "Yeah, I'm a queen." And I was like, "Oh well, you ain't my queen, so I don't know why you said that to me. That don't mean nothing to me. And my son a king. He ain't my king. I don't care nothing about.
The king of what? Where is his kingdom?
I don't care nothing about that.
Where is his kingdom?
They'll say something stupid like, I'm the queen of me. What? But we throw words around like that, king and queen and boss. If I don't want to be a boss, you know?
I'm a boss.
Everybody want to do this and that, everybody, throwing these words around because you're trying to create some kind of self-worth. And you're trying to create some kind of special effect to who you are instead of just being who you are. If you're a special individual, you don't need a label. People would know. You just would know. Like, you don't need an individual. Like, if you're a good person, you don't need to tell people, like, I'm a good person. Like, people don't know, like, you're a good person. Like,
I really am a good like,
you know what, man? I'm a good person.
Are you though?
Okay. Like, or you don't need to say that, like, man, I'm a good dad, or man, I'm a good mother. Like, you don't need to say those things. People just know. Mm-hmm. Like you just know. People will know. But we're so busy trying to impress everybody and wanting everybody to be liked by everybody. Want everybody to be our friend. An old cat told me this a long time ago, and I didn't understand it till now. He said, man, be leery of everybody. Be leery of people with a bunch of friends. Mm. And I'm like, huh? Like, what's wrong with having a bunch of friends? Like, what's... Like, be leery of people who will let everybody into their circle. Yeah. Be leery of those people who are quick to call people their friend. You'll call somebody your friend that you don't really know that well. Mm-hmm. You'll call somebody your friend and the relationship hadn't even been tested. Mm-hmm. That's why social media is so booming. Now you got people on social media talking about, they were supposed to be my friend. Now they did this. They talking behind my back. They doing this. We see it every day.
I know we're about to get out of here, man, but we got to touch on this. I'm not sure if you came across what's going on with B. Simone. It couldn't land it more perfect. It couldn't transition no more perfect. I know we're about to wrap up and get out of here, man. But it did speak to what you just said about friendship. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, this is what happens. Like I just got through saying, this is what happened when you call people your friend that you don't know, like you think you know, and two, when the relationship hasn't been tested. I would say, hey, I'm cool with this person. I'm cool with that person. I'm cool with this individual. But in order for me to call you my friend,
It's different.
like my friend can come to my house if I ain't there. Like that's how trusted I am with a friend. Right? I trust a friend to come to my house and not harm my family or steal my stuff. Like, like you know, I trust a friend to do that. I don't trust somebody I'm cool with to do that. Like,
Yeah. No.
nah, if you come to my house, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like, like, you know, for whatever reason, like if my friend just needed to go to my house to pick up something or do something, I would be, and I ain't there, I would be okay with that.
Right.
Like I trust this individual, I trust their character, you know, the wherewithal of who they are as an individual. I trust that. And you should only have a few people
Fact.
around you like that.
That's a big fact.
Shouldn't be a whole host of people. It shouldn't be. Jesus had one of the smallest churches.
Mm-hmm.
He had 12 members.
12.
And one of them was a demon.
12.
He had 12. Not 20, not 25, 30. He had 12. And you would think, man, they would be locked in as 12. Sold this man out. Sold this man out for chicken change. Sold this man out. And this is what we see in the B. Simone thing. The young lady who was hurt behind the situation, her and B. Simone, for y'all don't know, they had a brief stint of having a podcast. But in the midst of going through all of this podcast stuff, the young lady fell on hard times. Now, at this time, B. Simone is doing very well for herself. Financially, you know, she's on shows and things in that, you know, the nature, she's selling products and stuff. So she's doing really good. But she's watching her friend go through and struggle. And when her friend tells her about the struggles, she just look at her like, oh, wow, I'll be praying for you. Like, but in the meantime, her friend is watching her help other people. And I'm supposed to be your friend. And you see me in need and you don't help me at all? That's one way you know. If you have a friend and you're in need and your friend don't lend a helping hand at all, like nothing at all, be careful who you call your friends.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't even buy a girl a bucket. She couldn't even buy her a hoopty. And she well off. And one of my friends fell out, they didn't have a car, and I was just well off. And I'm just looking at them like, man, I'm praying for you, man. Like, and you looking like, no, don't pray for me. Like, Negro, give me a car. We don't need prayer.
Yeah.
We
need
know
prayer when there's no.
Yeah, we don't know where it's coming from. We don't know. Like, nobody got nothing. We don't need no prayer. What are we praying for?
I'm homeless. I ain't got no car.
And you're supposed to be my friend. We're supposed to be like that.
Yeah, man.
And now, tables turn. Now, you want to get on here and act humble. Now you talking about your finances is running low. But look at this. Look at what would have happened if you had sold into that young lady. Y'all podcast would have still been going and it probably would have been hot. And you would have been having good ends, making good money coming out of that podcast. Had you sold into that young lady.
And then she talking about because she can't shop at Bloomingdale, she has to shop at H&M. There's people out here that can't even shop at H&M.
People like, what's wrong with H&M?
Damn.
I still get some H&M. I still go get some. I get a shirt or two H&M.
Yeah. She boohooing about H&M, and it's like it's people. You know, you got people that's at Target and Walmart. They can't even get to that point.
And I'm gonna say this because I'm that type of dude. I'm the type of person. I would say things that most people probably wouldn't say. But her no talent has finally caught up with her.
Boom.
I'm just gonna say it, and I know people. They probably come for me in the comment, but I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just say it. She's one of those few celebrities out there who made it off personality and not talent. Talent in the form of you can act, you can sing, you're funny, you can stand up, some form of entertainment. When you're in entertainment business, like what do you do that's entertaining? Only thing that's entertaining to people is her personality.
And then they'll play it out around people
Now
the wrong way.
now that's fading out. It's fading. And I didn't want to do this to her because she's from my hometown. You know, she coming from Dallas, but I gotta keep it real. Dallas got some treacherous Negroes, and she one of them. And I'm just gonna keep it straight. I'm gonna keep it straight real, or as they say here in Houston, in the words of Bun B, I'm gonna keep it straight real. I'm gonna keep it straight real, man. I just got to, man.
That's a fact, man.
You know, she's a treacherous individual, man. She treacherous, man. Like you stay away from people like that. Those are the kind of people that your mama warned you about. Those are the kind of people that your mama tell you about. People like that, where you want to know what a person's heart is.
Mm-hmm.
If your mama ever told you about people like that, say, son, don't you mess with people like this. They'll do you dirty. They'll do you wrong.
Suck you dry and leave you there to die.
Not only that, but they'll watch you need water and stand over you and drink the water and watch you die of thirst.
That's a fact.
Those are that type of people. But and then go to your funeral and cry and say that was my best friend. That's that kind of person there.
But it's clear that she hasn't learned the lesson. The young lady that was there with her, you's right back there with her, he-heeing and giggling and all this after she did you greasy like this.
Well,
you know, you got an opportunity. You know, you was able to get back on your feet, but that doesn't mean you have to go back and get back cool with this person.
Man, when you starving for fame, you do whatever.
Just to get done like that again?
Not only to get done like that again, she thinking that we'll be okay as long as I'm okay, as long as I'm good financially. I don't have to ask her for nothing. But it ain't even about whether you gotta ask her for nothing. It's about that you know what kind of person she is.
Character. And that's a lost focus in today's society. Character. They focus so much on tangible things that they lose sight of the intangible.
For sure. You know, but that's what, you know, how she looking at it. And we see it all the time, man. It ain't nothing new what she doing. Like the stuff people go through in the entertainment industry to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
Like they go through all kind of stuff. Like we seeing some of the stuff in the Diddy case, like the stuff that people will go through.
Boy,
like this ain't nothing new. Like the word "sleeping your way to the top," that ain't nothing new.
Mm-mm.
That's been around.
That's a fact.
That's been around. Like, how you think J-Lo got popular? Oh.
Boom.
Need to put that out there. This shit got popular.
Uh-oh.
From a in living color dancer to becoming a popular actor and becoming a popular singer who can't sing.
Who can't sing?
How you think that happened? She dated Diddy.
She did.
I'm just saying, man, it ain't nothing new, man. People been starving, man, to get, fame, man.
Mhm.
That they be willing to do whatever. They'll be around people that they know don't rock with them or don't mean them well. They'll be around those people.
Mhm.
But man, I heed that advice to young people growing up, man, and even them now, you be older. Be leery of people, man, with a bunch of friends. You ever see a guy with a bunch of homies? I guarantee you, one of them gonna do him greasy. You ever see a young lady with a bunch of other young ladies? Somebody gonna do somebody greasy.
I mean, yeah, look at the people that got caught up in the RICO cases. There's always somebody in the bunch.
Man. And then you don't know where it came from. You got so many friends. So many people attached to you, so you don't really know where it come from, where the attack is really coming from. Because ain't nobody gonna tell you the truth. Everybody lying.
I want me. You want me.
Don't nobody know nothing. I don't know, man. I ain't heard nothing, but I asked so and so.
Yeah, all right.
So it's harder to pinpoint where the attack is coming from. But when your circle's small, you know where shared information was shared, and you like, okay, hey, I know, hey, I ain't got number, 3-4 y'all, so hey. But when the circle's small, you'll realize like how long the circle can last.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And most of the time, the circle lasts long, especially if y'all been friends since you were young.
That's true.
Man, but we're gonna get ready to get out of here, man. We want to touch on this a little bit, I suggest you go watch the whole video yourself. It's on YouTube, The Den of Kings, with Kirk Franklin. It's a pretty lengthy thing, but go watch it, man. They talking there, and it's just good to see young black brothers get together and have a positive conversation, to have good dialogue about their upbringing, about their own opinions, and being able to agree with each other and disagree with each other without fault. So this is one of the things that's great, and this is one of the redeeming qualities of men. Men, we can get together with total strangers, and we can coexist for whatever task we're achieving. That's a redeeming quality about a guy. Me and John tomorrow can go to a random park and play pickup basketball with some random guys that we've never met before, and have a good time hooping with some random guys we ain't never played before, and probably will never see them again. That's a redeeming quality about guys, because we get the label of being antisocial and not sociable. Like, no, we're not. Now, for ladies, they would never do that. They want to know who's gonna be there. They want to know, what they wearing. They like, it's a whole other thing. And then if it's an issue there, they either want to leave, quit altogether. If a guys have issues, especially like if it's at a court, we're gonna shoot about it. We're gonna, hey, let's shoot at, let's do that or whatever. But we're gonna figure it out. And so that's one of the redeeming qualities about guys that's not talked about a lot. You know, guys can get together and we can bond over a lot of stuff and be sociable. Whether it's a football game, whether it's basketball, whether it's, it could be dominoes, it could be, and you can just bond over a lot of different things.
Facts.
So, you know, just to give y'all one of the redeeming qualities about a guy. For most men, anyway. Most men. These new generation guys are a little different. when I grew up,
Sassy.
that was kind of a thing about guys. Like you can just, if you was a guy's guy, you could be around other guys, and y'all can find something in common. If y'all had to be in the same room with each other, or around each other's vicinity, y'all can find a way to coexist. And for that moment, so man, in the last words before we get up out of here, man.
Oh man, no man, not really, man. Just man, this is a lot of this would be solved, man. We get back to good, strong nuclear families, man. A lot of this, because we seeing now what is the effects it's having when there's no nuclear families, man. You have people that's multiple kids by multiple mothers or fathers, or even some that don't even know who the father or mother is. We've gotten away from strong black young men. They're so weak now and weak minded.
Or they're comforted in the wrong thing.
Yeah. And then now you got them influencing other ones. Speaking as with the mentality of a woman and the feminine mentality, which further brings our species to a further detriment, and it could that cycle continues. So man, if you with your child, man, make sure you stay in your child's life. You be that strong influence in their life. And don't make no dumb decisions. So if you end up with a oos baby, you don't go and marry them without really getting to know them, man.
Please don't make two wrongs don't make a right, man.
Right. You're gonna create even more chaos. So don't do that, man. But that's all I got, man. Just eliminate the contingencies, man, and let's get back to nuclear families, man.
For sure, man. Well, man, we're signing out, man. We got some more things installed, man. We will be back with the relationship podcast fairly soon, man. We'll have some guests on as well. But we got a lot of other things installed coming, and a lot of other topics we want to talk about as well. We also want to have I also have some in store, man. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but where it'll be me and John, and it might be two single young ladies, or it might be two single men, and where we can have two different perspectives on life and what's going on and how things are handled on certain topics, and just to give different perspectives and different lives where we can touch each basis of people or wherever they at in life. And so we got a lot of things in store, man, that we're gonna do, man. So man, remember, it don't cost you nothing to hit that like or subscribe button, man, or to share it, man. And remember, man, we're all over, man. We're on social media, man, and let that be known, man. Reactions, man. But until next time, man, peace out, man.
Peace.